Hey guys, welcome. This is Brad Krantz. Thanks for joining me for my Monday morning leadership today. Today I'm going to cover the success formula. It's actually from a book by a gentleman named Rob Sperry, The Game of Conquering. He calls it the Conqueror's formula, but I thought the success formula really picks up better some of the YouTube algorithms, so I'm using that. But last week I shared how to empower others, and I hope you got something out of that message. If you didn't, I will include it as the end plate here. You can go back and watch that video. But let's get into and kind of look at the Conqueror's formula and why I like it and what I think stands out about it here. So first off, I think it's to be successful, you have to have some formula, some outline of how to go about doing it, right? And I think this gives us kind of a boilerplate. That's why I've liked it. And it's real simply, it's vision plus environment plus discipline plus habits equals success. So let's talk about what each of these means before I go and unpack it a little bit deeper. But first thing he says is vision is what you think and intentionally believe that your life or vision could be. And real simply, if we lack motivation, we lack vision. I'm going to give you a quick example. My neighbor next door had grass 4 feet high, didn't want to mow it. I was over talking to him the other week and I kind of asked him a little bit about it. And real somebody said, I lack motivation. And I'm thinking with this message, well, you lack motivation because you don't have a vision for what you want your yard or your home to look like. And it's really, guys, if you look at it, think about it, if you lack motivation to do something, you don't have a strong enough vision. Okay. Second is environment. And that's really what we are surrounding ourselves with throughout our day. And we can't expect success if we surround ourselves daily with negativity, right? Those kind of two are mutually exclusive. Success and negativity are kind of like oil and water, right? They don't want to mix. So you got to be careful about your environment. And we're going to talk about that coming up. Discipline, self-discipline, we could even say, isn't going to take away from what you or I want. In fact, it's going to give you everything that you ever wanted. And discipline goes back to training yourself to show up every day, right? That's the minimum requirements, guys. You got to show up every day, right? If you don't do that, nothing else really matters. So discipline is really important. And then habits. I think habits are really simply the consistent and repeated daily practices that will help you and me to bring vision into our lives. And it's wisely said, and I like this, is show me your habits and I'll show you your future, right? If you got good habits, you're probably gonna have a good future. If you got poor, bad habits, probably not gonna be as, quote, successful. And then ultimately, guys, success is not a matter of if, but when. It's really that simple. And I don't want to oversimplify success. Success isn't easy because if it were, everyone would do it, but it is simple. So let's get into some of the meat of this and kind of unpack things. Okay, I'm going to bring up another screen share here because I think this kind of hits really what I want to cover here. And I'm going to ask a question first here, really, guys, and that is, what does it take to be successful? Okay, think about that. You're going to define success differently than how I do, but what does it take to be successful? I'm going to look at this formula and break it down a bit. Vision. Michael Hyatt, in his book, The Vision Driven Leader, states that vision is the essential ingredient for successful leadership. And this is Monday morning leadership, so we want to tie it into that, but not just kind of an optional, or if you get around to it, it's an essential ingredient for successful leadership. There's no substitute. So vision is a clear, inspiring, practical, and attractive picture of your future or your team or organization's future. It's an act of seeing the future. What do you want the future to look like? What do you want your future to look like? And it's also important to note, though, guys, a vision isn't a guarantee, right? There's very few guarantees in life, from death and taxes, right? We've heard that, but plenty of visions fail, but having no vision is a guarantee of failure. So it's like, if you don't know where you're going or where you want to go, you really can't get there, can you? So question on this, I'm going to ask a question at the end of each of these sections. What is your vision? And have you written it out? I can't tell you guys how many people don't have any written goals. They say it, but I know they don't, because they just want, yeah, I do, but they don't. I know what they are. I look at mine on a regular basis. And then the next one is environment, right? We have to have to know what our environment is. And I like this meme here. It says, surround yourself with people who talk about visions, what we just mentioned, and ideas, not people, right? You get out of the small, the gossipy stuff, guys, and you elevate yourself. You got to get around the right people, right? Creating the right environment will increase your productivity, your effectiveness, and even your motivation. And it'll result in improved results, right? Positive people are genuine, and probably more so because they don't only care about themselves, right? Leaders got to care about others, but they care about you as well, as I do. And that's why I do this video. It's important to them. It's important to me as much as it is important to yourself that you feel good about yourself or the goals that you're trying to reach or meet. You know, we kind of tend to absorb the actions of those we spend a lot of time with, right? And I've said this before, you know, if 5 of your friends are negative, you're going to be the sixth one. So your tip is really to avoid negative people and places, right? And then I could say, pose the question, who and what do you surround yourself with every day? It's really important, guys. Your environment, our association is critical. And then we get to discipline, right? Develop self-discipline, do what needs to be done, even if you don't want to do it. Guys, people that are successful, people that are winners, they do what typically they do what other people won't do. Not that they can't do it, but they do it even when they don't feel like it. I think Michael Jordan's a great example of that. Just the guy's work ethic and habit, just amazing. But John Maxwell said, as leaders, our greatest challenge in leadership is leading ourselves first, right? We kind of have to have our own lives together before we can be successful at leading others. And self-discipline really kind of moves you from good intentions to good actions. Think about that. We've heard it, you know, from a religious standpoint, you know, the road to hell is paved with good intentions, right? You don't have to be a Christian or intend this to be overtly religious, but, you know, good intentions may be fine, but if you don't have the right actions or good actions, it's going to be really hard to have the self-discipline to get you where you need to be. So self-discipline is really something that you and I need to keep working on day after day, every day. It's not a sometime thing or when I get around to it. You have to have self-discipline, right? Daily habits. We're going to get into habits here coming up, but it's not a given. It has to be developed by everyone who possesses it. So my question here would be, how do you keep and maintain your discipline? Next one, which is kind of related to that, is habits. And I like this meme here. The pictorial of it, Legos, basically the blocks of Legos forming a stair up to your goals, right? You got to have habits lead to your goals, you reach your goals, and you can achieve whatever success means to you. So they start with habits. And James Clear is the author of Atomic Habits. I haven't read the whole book, but he shares some insights about habits, and I thought they were pretty thought-provoking. I'll share a few of them. All big things come from small beginnings. And then the seed of every habit is a single tiny decision. Think about that. And then time magnifies the margin between success and failure. It will multiply whatever you feed it. So good habits make time your ally. Bad habits make time your enemy. And habits aren't a finish line to be crossed. They're a lifestyle to be lived. Think about that one. That's pretty good. And then every action you take is a vote for the type of person you wish to become, right? That's why our habits, self-discipline, our habits are so important. And I want to repeat that again. Every action you take is a vote for the type of person you wish to become. And again, it starts back with vision. If you don't have a vision of what you want or who you want to be, guys, you're just going to end up with, you know, randomly getting whatever it is you got, right? So I'm going to ask a question here. What good habits do you have? I think we all have some good habits, right? And then what habits do you need to change? I think we all need to grow or develop better habits, but we need to change. If we have bad habits, we need to change those. And then ultimately, success. You know, as I said initially, I think, you know, success is simple, but it's not easy, because if it was, everybody would be. But I like this meme. There's no secrets to success. It is the result of preparation, which I think I'm really talking about and dealing with today. Hard work, right? And too many people don't have good work ethic, or they're lacking in it. And it's learning from failure, guys. How many times we repeat it? Failure is part of the journey of success, despite what our society teaches us or doesn't teach us about it, but you got to be prepared. You got to be willing to put in hard work. And I would probably even add sacrifice. I think a lot of people, if you haven't been in business for yourself and you got a job mentality, you won't really understand this, because it's not just, you got to show up, but it's not just 9 to 5, guys. You'll have to go the extra mile, but it's being prepared, hard work, and learning from failure. So the definition of success to me really could kind of mean doing something that makes me happy, hopefully you, and something that I enjoy. I enjoy doing these videos on leadership. It also means often not taking the path of least resistance, but opening yourself to new challenges that enable you to grow and develop mentally, spiritually, and professionally. And that's why I call myself semi-retired, because I think a lot of times, I'm not saying often, and I'm not trying to say this as an overt criticism, but people that are retired, they say, well, I'm retired. Well, they're done working, they're done learning, they're done taking risks. They're kind of just in park or in neutral, coasting through life. I don't want to do that. I don't want to be that person. So I'm semi-retired because I still want to open myself up to new challenges that enable me to grow mentally, spiritually, and professionally. Okay. So your definition of success may vary, and that's fine, right? There isn't one definition that fits all, but you might define it as being fulfilled, happy, safe, healthy, and loved. And it's the ability to reach your goals in life, whatever those goals may be, right? There's no single right way to be successful, but it has to start with having a pathway to get there. Success doesn't just happen. So closing question for you is, what does success mean to you? And I would love to hear your input on this. How do you define success? What's success for you? I hope this formula made sense to you. It does to me. And I also hope that this gives you a workable outline to help you focus. Okay. So that's what I got for you today, guys. I'd love to hear your feedback on how you are implementing your success or Conqueror's formula. And if you need help, please reach out to me. I'd love to be of assistance if I can. Thanks for tuning in, guys. Have a great, successful Monday. Bye-bye.